Yep. Okay. Alright. How's it going? How you guys doing? It's starting to get crazy. So, anyway. Ah, man, I'm sitting next to the fucking air conditioner. Let me turn the air conditioner on. Oh, man. Fuck, dude. I got some back issues, bro. I hope it's not permanent. Oh, man. Fucking slave labor will destroy your back if you're not careful. Alright. So, I don't know if Gypsy Fox watches my channel. Anyhow, so, I've got this theory, you know, and it's, so let's just get right into it. Okay. So I did a video earlier today after watching Jim Rizzoli for the first time. And so, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So I go to BitChute just now. I've been busy doing stuff, and so I haven't had time to really check up on what's the talk, right? The talk. So I go to BitChute, and, you know, there's a lot of nothing, right? And then I see Jim Rizzoli post a video, so I'm like, just out of curiosity, it's like, okay. Because I've never watched Jim Rizzoli. And it's about homelessness. Okay. So, and it's in Popular. And then I could only watch a little bit of it, and it's an extremely false representation of what homelessness truly is in this country, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting to see a false representation of homelessness. And so it's showing these videos of people living in their vans and their cars. And they're like, oh, I've been living in my car for 9 months. I've been living in this van for, you know. And, dude, you look at these people, they don't even... It's really sad. Like, and unfortunately, I am cursed with an expertise in homelessness. Like, I lived on the street for 10 years, and then about 6 years after I got off of the street, I serendipitously ended up working as a street outreach worker for the homeless service provider field. And then I worked as a street outreach worker for 10 years. And my job was 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, to engage real homeless people. Not someone who is, oh, I've been living in my car for 9 months. And it is unbelievable, the amount of extreme third world poverty. Not just some young person that's been living in their car for 9 months or whatever. And so Jim Rizzoli is putting up this video about homelessness, and it's like these people, they look like Gap models. You know Gap, the store, the clothing store Gap, and when you see Gap models, they're always young. They look like they're 20 and they're all happy and everything is... These people that are proclaiming themselves homeless look like fucking Gap models, literally. And as someone who has seen what real homelessness is, and has seen it inside out, upside down, backwards, forwards, lived it for 10 years, then worked as a street outreach worker for 10 years, it is disgusting. It is sickening to see this misrepresentation of homelessness. And so I have this theory. And when I see things like this, it brings me a lot of concern because of my theory. Okay, so I have a theory, kind of like the theory that the Earth is round, right? I have this theory that when the subject of homelessness starts to become popular and trending, like in the popular and trending sections on platforms like BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, when it starts to become popular, that is that's the telltale sign that shit is really about to hit the fan, like very soon, when it starts to become popular. And one of the things that will happen if and when the subject or topic of homelessness becomes popular is it will get misrepresented. People that absolutely know less than zero about the subject of homelessness are going to be the ones that are posting videos in popular and trending, are going to be the ones doing commentary as if they know something about it when they know absolutely nothing. And so when I saw this Jim Rizzoli video and I clicked on it, I could only watch about a few minutes of it, and I'm just completely disgusted. When they show people that look just like Gap models, and these people that look like Gap models are on the video saying, like, I'm like totally homeless, dude. Like, I've been totally like homeless, and I was like totally eating like bananas and like totally a bread cost, and like I'm getting really totally like hungry. Dude, you have got, and but I am almost 100% convinced that if and when the subject of homelessness starts to become popular in platforms like BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, etc., that is the end. Like, it's fucking over. Because nobody ever talks about homelessness. It is the number one most unpopular thing to talk about at all whatsoever. Period, as Richard from Boston would say. Nobody wants to go anywhere near it. Nobody. And it's because, well, it's because it has to do with money, property, and prestige. Like, it's not going to go over well with Richie from Boston's audience if Richie from Boston starts bringing up homelessness. It's just it's a massive Debbie Downer. Like, it doesn't even matter how important homelessness is. When it's brought up, people just are repelled. It's like, no, I'm not going to change the channel. There's got to be something else on than I don't care about homelessness. That's how everyone is. So if and when it becomes popular on platforms, I'm really, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to warn you that if and when that becomes popular and trending, that means that the real shit is very, very close to hitting the fucking fan, and it is gonna get really bad. And I can almost guarantee you that I'm right. That if and when it becomes popular and trending, this subject, that is the sign, dude. That is the sign, that is the symbol that should cue you to where we are at and what is about to go down really, really soon. So me personally, if and when I start to see it becoming somewhat regular and popular and trending, the subject of homelessness, what I'm going to do is I am going to disappear. I'm going to go into a cave as far the fuck away from everyone as possible as soon as this starts to become popular. Because first of all, I know the subject of homelessness far better than your average person. And so when I see it start to get talked about, it's going to be people that don't know anything about it, like Crow House. Crow House never talked about the Jews until it started to become popular. Now that's all he talks about is the Jews. Whereas before he would get mad if his audience brought up the Jews in the comment section. Now he completely flip-flopped. Now, see, these people in popular and trending, they don't know anything, dude. They are the ones that go along with the system, and they are being rewarded with their channels ending up in popular and trending. These popular and trending channels are hand selected by the system to be the propagandists, to be the modern day propagandists, and they're placed there by design, not organically at all. And they're there to push whatever narrative it is that the system wants put out. That's why I tried to bring up earlier that, dude, alt and new tech versus mainstream media is just as fake and staged as Trump versus Kamala. And if you can't understand this, yet you go on and on how Trump versus Kamala is totally staged, but you can't even see that alt new tech media versus mainstream media is totally staged, is complete fucking overt like theatrics and stagecraft. If you can't see that, then you're fucked. You're just another sheeple, dude. You may as well vote Trump, dude. You might as well be a Trumper, man, or a fucking libtard, you know. It's controlled opposition. This media thing is all controlled opposition. These people in popular and trending, they are just the new guard. It's the same as mainstream media was 20 years ago. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same game. And I'm telling you, man, mark my fucking words, whoever you are that might be watching this. If and when homelessness becomes something that is a subject that shows up in popular, starts showing up in popular fairly regularly, like, oh wow, look, these homeless people, like, this is how bad the economy has gotten. Now just everyday people are homeless. That's gonna, if and when that becomes it, which is, I predict this will eventually happen, and I watch and wait for it. And as I see it start to creep in to the narrative, I'm waiting and watching. Because they creep it in right now. They try to make it kind of not noticeable. But once it becomes noticeable, where it's like people that would never talk about homelessness are all of a sudden talking about, like True Stream Media just starts talking about homelessness. Richie from Boston, Crow House, you know, your regular suspects. As soon as they start talking about it, that's it. It's over, dude. It is fucking over, dude. And I'm going to disappear, completely disappear. And my prediction is that if and when this does happen, that's my plan, is that I'm going to disappear, and I'm going to watch from afar, and I'm going to watch the whole fucking thing come crashing down like a crumbling empire. That's what it means. That's what it's going to mean. Is that the empire is falling now. And if you want to avoid getting crushed by the you better get the fuck out, dude. That's what I'm saying. So, yep, it's interesting. Yeah, I can't watch the Jim Rizzoli's video on homelessness. Like, it's just, you have no idea. You have no idea. This video where this guy's acting like he knows something about homelessness, you have no idea. Why not talk to somebody who truly knows about it? You know? There are people like me who lived on the street for 10 years. On the street, not in a car, on the street. and then a handful of years later ended up doing street outreach for the homeless service provider in the homeless service provider field for 10 years. Like, that's a lot of experience. Why not talk to somebody like that about home instead of, who is this guy that Jim Rizzoli is mirroring this video? Who is this guy? He doesn't even know what the fuck. It's obvious he doesn't know anything about homelessness. And see, that's what I'm saying. You're going to get all these people that don't know anything about it, and they're going to be talking like they know something. Meanwhile, people that really do know a lot about it are just going to continue to get ignored and never get heard. Dude, I ran a channel that was specifically only exclusively about homelessness off and on for like 7 or 8 years. 7 or 8 years. And dude, it is the most unpopular subject on the internet. Nobody gives a shit. But yet now all of a sudden it shows up, all of a sudden there's concern for it and popular trending. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And if something doesn't make sense, it's probably not true.